So next time you've got a bit of grit in your eye, it might be a piece of art. We don't know.
Reality is a construct of perception. Carl is a construct of coffee and bad life choices. Here they meet in Carl versus Reality.
Hello and thank you for joining me for this episode of Carl versus Reality. How is it going? Firstly, a little bit of housekeeping. Apologies for there not being an episode last week. To make up for that, this is last week's episode, and because of that, I've actually had to basically cancel this week's. So hopefully that sort of solves all that problem. Didn't record an episode last week because, going to be honest, mental health not great. So yeah, just thought I'd just share that. But anyway, I have obviously got out of my little funk, and I've got something funny actually happened to me, which actually never happened to me before, and I was very, very excited about it. So I was walking home the other day, and I was wanting to cross this road. This road I'll have to cross is quite busy, but it's one of those ones that you have to wait too long before you can cross. It's just one of those sort of busy roads, like you get like a whole bunch of traffic. I'm assuming it's because of traffic lights or a roundabout or something. But yeah. So it's quite a busy road and all this kind of stuff, and I was sort of just waiting by the side of the road, and I was like, oh, there's a lollipop lady, and the lollipop ladied me across the road. And at the age of 41, I've never ever been lollipop ladied, like even as a child. If it's fair, when I was growing up, there wasn't many lollipop ladies about, or lollipop men, but there wasn't any really. And, obviously not really a thing of the past, because there they are, still knocking about, being lollipop people. And I really couldn't hide my excitement. I really couldn't do it. As I was crossing the road, I went, oh my God, you're just like a bucket list thing. I've never been lollipop ladied. And it was one of those things where, it's just, I didn't really sort of ever think about it before. I thought those times of being lollipop ladied had been gone. But no, it was actually like a very sort of thrilling moment of my life. And, she had a massive broad smile. She was like, you're very welcome. And I was like explaining everything about the fact I've never been let across the road by a lollipop lady. And it's that's funny, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So then it's like, oh, anyway, have a good evening. And then I sort of was walking away, and I just couldn't stop smiling. It really sort of helped me in my funk, like I say. And yeah, it's just really funny, really. What was funny about it, really? Not funny. It's just more of an observation, I suppose. The fact that it's actually quite a young lollipop lady. Like, she had dyed hair, like a different colour, like a colourful colour, like blue colour. And she had like a nose ring. I was like, bloody you go, That's right. You want to be a lollipop lady? You be a lollipop lady. And I just assume, and that's very wrongly of me, that it's the sort of retirees that are lollipop people. But no, the youngsters are getting on the act as well. I guess at some point, obviously, the old guard, pardon the parlance, have to retire, stop doing the lollipopping. But yeah. Is lollipop lady, lollipop man, lollipop people, is that a thing in other countries? I'm pretty sure. Like a crossing guard, I think they call it. I don't know. I'm not American, so I don't know if this is like translating too well. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me this week, which was pretty good. But yeah, there we go. So do you know what? I've been looking around for different news articles and all that kind of stuff, and I found a news article which sort of made me think a little bit. And it's a bit of a weird one, really. But here we go. So basically, it's another world record. That's right. I don't know what it is. I try and find news stories, but I keep having to sort of talk about world records and all that, the silly world records and all this, that, and the other. And it's not obsession or that. Just the I put in. I've got these different feeds, and that's all that bloody comes up. But anyway, this one sort of made me chuckle. There's a guy called David A. Linden, and he's a micro artist based in Bournemouth in Dorset in the UK. And he's made a sculpture titled The Yellow Smiley Face. And it measures approximately 11.04 by 12.33 microns, which is about the same size as a human blood cell, a single grain of talcum powder, or a mold spore. It's completely invisible to the naked eye. So yeah, it's just I sort of read that and I was a bit like, it's kind of interesting that someone's actually spent all this time to do that. Really, I mean, it takes a very sort of steady hand and all that, and it's one of those like I think it's more about the message really, like the fact that I can they can do it, and there's the effort it takes to do that. It is an interesting piece of art, but it's also a bit conceptual because to see it you must use a very powerful microscope. Well, just a microscope, I'm assuming. So basically the sculpture sits on a first-class stamp of the late Queen Elizabeth II. It's specifically positioned as a microdot on the Queen's eye. The verification is basically they had to, because it's so small, they had to use specialised high-resolution microscopes to verify the dimensions for the Guinness World Records, which is, imagine that being your job. The previous record was held by him also, but it basically halved the size of it. Originally it was 25 by 22 microns, which is double the size. And before becoming an artist, the dude was an engineer and instrument mechanic for the Ministry of Defence and the aviation industry. He worked on complex instrumentation for aircraft cockpits and Spitfires, which gave him the steady hand required for micro work. His inspiration was he was start micro art after watching a TV documentary about Willard Wigan, another famous micro artist, and he thought he'd give that a bit of a try. Actually, my grandfather, he wrote the Lord's Prayer on the back of a stamp, and we thought that was pretty neat. But that's actually quite positively massive compared to what this guy was doing. And to perform his work, he says that he has to maintain a strict fitness regime, avoiding caffeine and alcohol to keep his heart rate low. He says that he works at night mainly, between 10 and 4, to avoid vibrations of passing traffic. I guess that makes sense. I guess, is there much traffic in Wigan? I don't know. He says he has to, in a zombie-like state, doing, slows his breathing, working between heartbeats, which I can't really imagine. That's going to take a certain amount of, strictness of just being like, I don't know how to even work. The pulse in his fingertips is strong enough to ruin a sculpture if he moves at the wrong moment. It's kind of interesting really, because he says he makes his own tools and all that kind of stuff, and it's kind of interesting. He said he once made a portrait of Amy Winehouse, only for it to be blown away by a draft before it's finished. He's also said that he's also inhaled some of his artwork before as well. It's just a very interesting idea, really. I mean, I don't know really if I could ever do that kind of thing. My art is a bit different. I'm an artist, in case you're wondering. I do art. My art is sort of big and clunky in comparison. I do lino prints. I don't do anything. Literally, if I'm doing anything, it's with a massive Sharpie. And so not quite the same thing. But it's an interesting concept, really, to think that, creating art where it can't really be seen by anyone unless they've got a microscope is kind of interesting. It's very, like I say, it's very conceptual. And I do enjoy that idea of it being quite conceptual. But yeah, really, really fascinating stuff, that. So next time you've got a bit of grit in your eye, it might be a piece of art. We don't know. It could be, a sculpture of Amy Winehouse, or, the Banksy's girl with a balloon. We just don't know. Anyway, I'm waffling on here. I'll be back again next time. I'm saying next time rather than next week, because I don't know. There might not be an episode next week. We'll see how we go. Back again soon for another episode of this. And, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to, like it on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all that. Obviously, give it a 5-star review on Spotify if you could. That'd be great. You don't have to, but it would help. It's also now on YouTube, like the actual full episodes on YouTube. But anyway, I'll be back again soon. So until then, take care of yourself. And until then, ta-ta.